Hi, I'm Jenny Pace, and you're listening to the Better Business Podcast. This is the place for makers, solopreneurs, and product-based business owners to get tips, advice, and inspiration on running their business that's profitable, it's fun, and that's kind of what you want to be doing with your life. I can't wait to share my tips and ideas, to share book reviews, and to help you run a better business for life. Hello, and welcome to this episode. Are we on episode 5 already? That seems crazy. But hooray, episode 5. I'm really excited to talk today about 3 key things that you can do as a solopreneur, as a maker. Let me back it up to say I have been working with creative business owners since 2009. And in that time, I've worked with a full range of businesses, different products that they're making or sourcing. I've worked with service-based businesses, I've worked with teeny tiny just getting started businesses, and I've worked with people who've had £1 million turnovers and big teams and premises and all that kind of stuff. Really big variety of businesses. And of course, as a business coach, there are plenty of things that I've seen and talked to clients about that have been game changing, and they've been really specific to those businesses. They've been in a certain situation where we've had to unlock problems with a team or challenges where their bestseller has started dipping and they've needed to pivot in a big way. And a lot of the time, coaching is about finding the client's problems, really making it unique to them and understanding where they're at. But there are a few things that come up over and over again. And today, I am going to share 3 pretty magical things that happen. Well, there's something magical that happens when creative business owners start doing these 3 things. It's not posting to Instagram every day or doing Facebook ads. It's not about wholesale or professional photography or signing up for a particular course. Those things and lots more that I haven't mentioned that are very specific, they might be the right actions for you to take. But there are 3 things that are legitimate game changers, whether you are just starting out as a teeny tiny business or whether you are leading a business that is turning over 6 figures or more. If you're not already doing these things, they're going to make a big difference. So, are you ready? Or should we just dive in? Seems like a good idea. Okay. Number 1, these are really things that these are really things to stop avoiding. They're things that you probably know that you should be doing. They might end up on your list at some point or another, or have done in the past. And I guess these are things that I'm going to share. You might not have thought of them all before or thought about them in the way that I'm going to talk about them. So this is an invitation for you to rethink them if they've been on your list before or you've been avoiding them. I'm here to help you reapproach them in a better way. So the first one is to check your numbers regularly. It is amazing to me how many experienced business owners, people who've been in business, let's say 5 years or more, they're making a decent living. They probably have a team or a couple of people helping them out during busy periods. They're managing a lot of stuff. They're doing pretty well. They found a market. They found a niche. They've made stuff that people love and are buying. And yet they don't know what's going on in their business month to month. And okay, they're doing fine. And you could argue that it's not a problem. And that's probably true. But it is holding them back to not look at their numbers, to not understand what's going on. Feeding your brain good data helps you in day-to-day decisions that you don't even know about. Your unconscious is making decisions all the time based on the information that it has. So the more accurate information you give it, the better you're able to make decisions. Whether that's about ordering supplies or deciding how much you're going to invest your time and energy into marketing this week, day, month. The more information you have, the better you're able to navigate those decisions, some of them conscious and some of them unconscious. So this point is really about well, I'm really speaking to people who are avoiding looking at your bank account, avoiding analysing your sales figures, avoiding doing your tax return, avoiding even stuff like looking at your email open rates or looking at your Facebook and Instagram ad results. I find that people do the ad results more because they feel like they're spending money, but you're spending money and time and energy on stuff all the time. And it's really important that you know how that's going. I know it's vulnerable to look at your numbers. I know it's, for a lot of us, it can be anxiety inducing. It can open us up to feeling bad about our businesses, about your ideas, about your self-worth. I've been there too. I've had challenging times in my business and I have stuck my head in the sand, ostriched the problem, when actually I could have had the information earlier and done something differently. It is so worth getting courageous on this. And even when my business is thriving, as it is now, in fact, doing this monthly review, having this in my consciousness to do regularly helps me make things even better. So here's what I recommend. Choose maybe 5, maybe 10 key numbers that you're going to check each month. So your turnover, maybe your expenses, your profit, and maybe a couple of key marketing numbers like your email open rate or Instagram followers or interactions on Instagram or something. Book a time in your calendar every month. Try to make it the same kind of time, like the first Tuesday afternoon of the month, for example, and sit down and do these numbers. Make it enjoyable. Make it something that you can look forward to and know is improving your business, working on your business. You might buy yourself a little treat. Like for me, there's I'm going to make sure I've got a brownie or a decent coffee. You could go out to do it. You could go to a coffee shop now that things are starting to open up again. You could go and do that. You could do it with a business bestie, either online or sit together and do it. Get yourself a candle, have a playlist that you listen to, really set yourself up to do this in a way that feels really good to you so that you do it, so that you don't put it off. This helps massively. Checking your numbers regularly is a game changer because it really helps you to switch your brain on to making smarter business decisions that are totally right for you and not based on that person you just scrolled past on Instagram who said a thing that maybe you should do. This is about you taking charge of your business and your success and understanding what's helpful. So this is number 1 of my game-changing habits to do. I teach it in my business membership, the Better Business Collective, and it's something that we do together every month. In fact, we do it in 2 parts. We do a prep workshop where we kind of do this co-working where you can go and gather your numbers and work on your bookkeeping and get up to date. And then we do a session that is this game-changing success ritual to identify the bits that are important. What are the numbers telling you? What are you telling you? What do you need to think about, do, etc. this month? So it's really amazing seeing people establish this habit over several months and seeing them really start to address the things that they need to address in their business. It's such a big deal and it is kind of magical. So that's point 1. The second thing that pretty much everyone needs to do wherever they are in their business, whether you're having a good year, a bad year, your first year, your 20th year, valuing your creative skills and talents. If I had £1 for every creative who undercharges, doesn't value their own skills, or doesn't prioritise their creative time, I could go on a nice fancy holiday with my family and it would be really wonderful. You've been creative most of your life and you're probably really good at what you do and you probably take that for granted. We can't do what you can do. You have this amazing experience, knowledge, talent, skill that no one else has, and it's really important not just to you but to the world that you start owning it and valuing it. I see this all the time with designers who create print and they don't see that there are millions of people, billions of people that could not do that same thing that could not create that in the same way, even without thinking about the quality of the paper that they're using, the inks that they're using, the framing, and all that stuff that is also valuable. Just the creative content of it is something that is really unique to them. They spent years honing this skill. And even if you're just getting started as a designer, your perspective and your talent is still valuable. So this is a big one, and I get that. I'm not always great at valuing my time and my creativity and my unique perspectives either. It's a muscle that we have to practice so that it becomes nice and strong and stable and helpful. But here are some suggestions to get you started. First of all, check your pricing. From a very black and white perspective, are you charging in a way that values your time, your energy, your talents? Chances are you're not. About 80% of my new clients, the first thing we do is put their prices up by about 20%. If that's you, and there's an 80% chance, in my humble experience, that it is you, plan a price increase and get really courageous with it. You don't have to tell anyone about it. You don't have to announce it in a big way. You can just put your prices up. The other thing, so that's like how you charge and demonstrate value in your pricing. The other thing is booking in time to nourish, hone, develop your creativity. Book design time into your week, into your month, so that you have this regular time to play with ideas, not in a like super pressurized, you now need to develop the next bestseller, but to play, to invest in the future of your business. The products that you're selling in 5 years' time probably don't exist yet. They're probably still little glimmers in your eye that are going to come forth as you play and develop. So everything that you do to practice being creative now is going to give you those income streams in the future. So by booking in design time now, making it a regular habit, you're investing in the future of your business. You're giving yourself income streams for the future. So even if it doesn't feel immediately productive or immediately revenue driving, or there are like 1,000 other things on your lists that feel more urgent, this is something that you're going to thank me for later. And by the way, please do thank me for it whenever you end up doing it and it pays off. I love hearing that. But it's really important that we're valuing your creativity, not just for you, not just for your business, but as a movement, as a creative whole, as a community. It's so important for our society, our culture, our children to value women, to value creatives, to value beauty. Don't underestimate how important that is, even beyond you. Shifting this perspective, starting to value your time, having the courage. It's always going to feel vulnerable. It's always going to feel like a bit of a stretch. I don't think that goes away. But doing it, having the courage to put your prices up, to cultivate your creativity, is one of the big shifts that makes your business profitable and sustainable, but also a really powerful force for the good in the world. So that's the second of these 3 habits, is to really value your creativity and your time and your energy. The third will not come as a huge surprise, I don't think, but it's something that I talk about a lot and help clients with a lot, is prioritizing your time and your to-do list. So both the first 2 habits that I've mentioned involve adding time to your calendar, time to review your business numbers each month, regular time to be creative and cultivate that creativity and value it. That's not a coincidence. Lots of us like going with the flow and being in the mood to create, but we also end up trying to do way too many things at once. And that usually means that none of the things we're trying to do actually pay off, because we don't give them the full time and attention that they need. So it's really important to carve out this time that I've mentioned for reviewing your numbers and being creative. But it's also really vital that you prioritize your time and the things that you're working on, so that you give yourself a great sense of structure and a framework in which you can thrive. So here are my tips to do this. I mean, I'm definitely going to talk about this more. Make no mistake, this is something that's going to come back and back. Different ways to focus and prioritize. But here are the things that I have seen work the best over time. Choose maybe 3 goals to work on. So rather than trying to do a billion different projects all at once, like a website and Facebook ads and Pinterest and that new collection you're meant to be doing and a different way to photograph your products, and maybe you're going to do video and maybe you're also going to do a series of reels, just choose 3 of those things. Prioritize your list on a daily or weekly basis so that your time is spent doing, yes, orders, yes, customer service things, but maybe 2 or 3 projects rather than the 500 projects that's actually on your list at the moment. When you focus on prioritizing this way, you're actually giving everything a chance to thrive. So if you're trying to revamp your website and do 100 other things, chances are you're not going to give the website the full care and attention that it needs. So doing the website, getting it to a point where you can finish it, for now, websites are never done forever in my experience, but they get to a point where they're in a good place and you feel happy with the developments you made, then move on to figuring out Pinterest, then move on to figuring out Facebook ads or designing a new collection. Don't try and have 12 balls in the air that you're juggling all the time. Have 3, do them, move on. We have this sense that we should be doing everything all at once, and that's the only way to be successful. My experience is that isn't true. You will get more done long term in a shorter amount of time than you think if you focus on a few things at a time. So be really mindful with your time. Prioritize well. Take things off your list. Proactively remove things from your to-do list so that you're giving yourself the best investment of your time and energy. There are loads of other ways that you can do this too. Delegating, finding people who can help you with stuff, they're all valid too. But to avoid burnout, to give you more of a sense of completion, I really recommend just starting here. Just start prioritizing. Anything that feels super urgent but actually doesn't add any value, let's just take that off your list. I hope these 3 things have been insightful, helpful, give you some sense of the practices, the habits that will help you to find more success on your own terms in your business. To recap, the first habit is to check your numbers regularly, know what's going on in your business, know what your profitability is like, know what your turnover is, know what's working and what's not. Do that every month, make it really fun, order cake, light a candle, it's going to be great. The second thing is to value your creativity. Put your prices up, block out time to be creative and enjoy it. Know that you're investing in the future of your business. And the third thing is to prioritize your time. Focus on the things that are most important to your business, that are going to have a big impact. See them through to the end. Give them the opportunity to really get to that completion and that you've given them your all before you move on to the next thing. These are things that are so easy to avoid as creatives. And I'm not saying that they're the only things you need to do in order to get the thriving, sustainable, meaningful business that you really want. But they are things that A, we tend to avoid, and B, anyone, whatever stage you're at, can adapt these habits and get results from them, see benefits quite quickly from doing them. So maybe you'll just add in one of these habits at a time. Maybe you're ready to just dive in with all 3. If you do get started, let me know. Come on over to Instagram. I'm at the Jenny Pace. Let me know so I can cheer you on. And if you would like some help, especially with that first habit of checking your numbers, and even with the focus and prioritization stuff, you might like to know that the Better Business Collective is going to be open for the summer season at the end of May. You can check that out at thejennypace.com/the collective. It's a really amazing community of creative business owners, and I teach money and marketing as some of the key things for product-based business owners in that group. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how you're finding the podcast, whether you have any questions, whether there's anything that you'd love me to answer. I'm loving doing the podcast. It's been really fun. Thank you to everybody who has been listening and sent me messages and reviews. Feel free to subscribe and review if you've enjoyed this episode and the podcast in general. I can't wait to share more next time. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Better Business Podcast. I would love it if you could subscribe so that you don't miss any of the new episodes coming out. And of course, share with any creative business owners. I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye.